In this video, you'll learn the first step on how to niche down and stand out so you can beat the competition. Hi there, Adam here from Hustle Savvy. I help solopreneurs grow their audience and build the right digital products. If that's something that appeals to you, do consider subscribing and hit that bell icon so you'll get notified whenever I upload new videos. Because there's so many moving parts, I'm gonna split this video up into 4 different sections, and this is part 1. So I'll leave a link in the description below for the full playlist so you can check out all the other videos when they're out. So to get started, we need to answer the question, how to stand out against massive competition? And how is niching down going to help us in that process? So when you're first starting out, especially when you're doing an online business or any business in general, you probably have a few questions in your mind. You probably also don't have much money. What if you don't have much time either because you're still doing your 9 to 5 and you're still juggling between that and potentially your side hustle? You're probably just one person, a solopreneur, some people call that. And other people and other brands are ahead of you. And you feel this threat because they seem to have more resources at their disposal and they have attracted a bigger following than you. I want to introduce to you the power of starting small and what are the advantages we can take from this situation that you have right now. So one of the ways we can deal with the challenges is to be more specific by finding your niche. So what does that mean? It means rather than attacking a big general topic, which have a lot of competition and where your big brands are, try going small first. And try attracting the needs of a small but dedicated group of people. The keyword here is dedicated group because they have to be deep into the topic, passionate enough, and have a bunch of problems for you to solve in order to be of relevance to you. And we'll go through this as we go through the different steps in finding your niche. Because you want to gather some quick wins and build up your authority for that particular topic or that particular niche that you're in. This way you can build momentum, and as you are able to solve problem after problem that your potential customers are facing, you'll not only gain more confidence, but also your authority grows. Authority is a fancy word for reputation. Your products and your services will also increase in quality because you get consistent feedback from the right people who are paying you money. And from there, you can keep iterating and improving your brand and your solutions. And one of the biggest challenges that I keep hearing from other people is that, hang on, if I were to niche down, if I were to become too specific, I would be, in this situation where I'm pigeonholing myself and I'll be unable to expand. This is false because here's the thing, as you gather quick wins, you will reach a point where you'll have enough resources and enough authority or reputation to later on diversify. So you are not going to be stuck in this specific niche forever. You can choose to do that, and there are pros and cons to every decision, but I want you to know that you are not going to be stuck. So how do we do this? I've broken it down to 4 big steps. And the first one that I'll walk you through today is your zone of genius. What does this mean? First of all, let's take a step back and acknowledge the fact that when you're starting an online business, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's the long game. And secondly, along the way, in order for you to be successful, you'll need to build trust with the specific group of people that you are serving. In other words, your target audience. So from that, because it's a marathon, you're gonna need to persevere. You're gonna face a lot of challenges. You're gonna be doubting yourself a lot of times. Trust me, I know this. And secondly, you need to continuously build up your reputation and get all these small wins with your potential customers so that you can keep building up and survive the longer game. And that leads to a few things. First of all, whatever you choose to do, whatever topic you choose to niche down to, you must be passionate enough so that you can, well, not hate it as you are pursuing this. And secondly, it's not enough to just be passionate about it. You must be competent enough. You must have enough skills and experience that you can deliver on the promise that you made with your customers. You don't have to be an absolute master in everything, but whatever that you are trying to solve, whatever problems you're trying to solve, you must have some level of expertise in it. So usually people don't need much help in finding their passions, but when it comes to understanding the competency, there's a bit of a problem there. So I've come up with a few questions that you can ask yourself as you are narrowing down what are the different skill sets and topics that you are competent with. The first one being, what jobs have you done? I know it sounds boring because we're going back to the 9-to-5 job and you're trying to escape it, but think about it. How else can you prove to someone that you are competent in something? Your employers or your company is willing to give money in exchange for your time and your effort to solve a problem or fulfill a role in their organization. That's a pretty hard proof right there. And you're not limited to just your 9-to-5 jobs. You can take examples and list down examples from all the side projects you've done where you have an exchange of money. For example, you can list down your freelance jobs. You can also identify all the side hustles you've been doing all these years. Just list them down and see where can we find a pattern. And you will oftentimes, along the way, as you're doing this exercise, find that there are some similarities in different areas of expertise. And that is what we're looking for. So don't worry if you start repeating yourself. In fact, some things you're listing down might sound similar, but you're using different words. That's okay. This is part of the exercise. Because the second question that might help you further is, what have you been trained to do? In other words, what qualifications do you have? Let's go back to the jobs. Let's go back to, potential company trainings that might have been provided for you. You might have been, certified to do certain skills. You might have licenses and certain things that you continuously receive training from. Whether you pay for it yourself or the company, like I mentioned before, paid for you and your training, these are some of the areas that you can list down and see whether or not you want to start focusing as you are discovering your niche. The next thing is to ask yourself, what results have you achieved? What have you helped another organization achieve? What have you helped your employer achieve? What kind of sales records you might have broken? Maybe you've managed to solve a very huge problem last year in your company. These are very good indicators that, hey, you're onto something here, especially if you keep repeating a particular streak of solving a very particular and very similar problem. So you can add this to your list if you're still not sure what are you competent in. Next, the fourth question, ask yourself, what advice do people go to you for? This could be a family member, it could be your friends, it could be your colleagues, your coworkers. Basically, they'll come to you and ask, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I heard that you're good at advising people on this topic. So these are key indicators. These are like good sentences that will trigger, your attention, and you are able to again and again give good advice to help the other person. Now, there's no money exchange necessarily here, so I find that this is a bit weaker. However, it does help to list them down as well and see again, where do these different topics correlate with the other things you've listed down as you answer the other 3 questions. So here's some action steps for you and a bit of a recap of what we've just discussed. First of all, I want you to list down topics that you're passionate about. This is pretty obvious and it's a very personal thing, but this is how it starts, because whatever you do needs to come from a place of passion, because it will translate into your work when you're starting your online business, when you're serving your customer, when you're providing that service or you're creating that product. It is a long journey. Again, it's going to be a marathon, so you need that perseverance, and with enough passion, you'll stand a chance. The next thing you want to do is list down a balance to that, and that would be your competencies. And you can use the different intersecting words, cross-reference them between what's your passion, what's your competencies, and see where they intersect. As you list these things down, it becomes easier because then you can just cross things off the list. And again, use the 4 questions that I went through before to help narrow down this list. Eventually, you will find what you're really good at and what you love doing. And this is what I call your zone of genius. So, we've covered that part already. The first big step to niching down is to discover your zone of genius. But that's not enough. We have 3 more steps to go. The next one is to understand and measure the marketplace for demand and competition. So, what's your zone of genius? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to hear more about you and what you're good at. Depending on when you're watching this video, the next part 2, will be appearing on screen right here, right now. If not, it'll be ready next week. So hit the subscribe button and that bell icon so you get notified when that video will be ready. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.